Back to my channel. In the previous video, we talked about the concept of a tensor in Pytorch. In this video, I will talk about the concept of differentiation. So as you all know, to train neural networks, we will need to do backpropagation over the entire network so that we can learn the weights of the network. So Pytorch has a unique concept of generating or learning or computing the gradients of weights of the network automatically. So the way to do that is this. So you can first of all need to import torch, and there is a module in torch which is called auto gradient, and you'll need to import, let's say, something called a variable. So the variable is essentially a concept or a wrapper over PyTorch tensors, which can be used to track the state of a given tensor. So let's say if you want to compute a gradient over a given tensor, you have to wrap it around in a variable. So in order to do this, we first of all need to create a variable. So let's say we'll create a variable. We'll use torch.tensor again, but before that we'll need to import torch. Okay. Okay, so now what we are doing is we are wrapping around this variable, which is the torch.tensor, which we are creating here, um, so that we can track its state. Now, if you want to track the state of a given variable, you have to set a flag which is within this function. You can say required grade equals to true. Now what this will do is it will tell the PyTorch system that we want to track this variable which we are creating over here, and this will allow you to track the gradients of this variable when we are using these kinds of variables or tensors in a neural network. So let's define a very simple equation. So let's say we say that there is another variable which is the dependent variable, and we are computing sum of a, which is a square of the given tensor. Now first of all, let's print both a and y and see what are their values. So we can run this function. Let's just come out of this. Just zoom it out a little bit. Requires scrapped, requires, okay, it should be requires. Sorry about that. Okay, so now you can see the PyTorch system, what it's doing is it's printing this variable over here, and then it's also printing this variable which we have created over here, right? Now let's say we want to track we want to compute the gradient of dy, which is our dependent variable based on our input. So we want to compute dy over dA. So that's what we want to compute. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we first of all need to enable we want to call backward over y. So when we do this, what happens is the Pytorch system goes and computes one pass of this thing. It takes the input and computes the backward, it does a backward propagation over y, and it computes the gradient for a. And then if you want to print the gradient of a, then you can simply call a.grad. That should give you the gradient of dy over dA. So if we print this, you see that it's printing 2468. And why? Because we are computing a squared function, and the gradient of this kind of function is simply 2 times the input function, which is 2 times a of ij for all ij in a input variable. So as you can see, it's printing the gradient of dy over dA, and after calling y dot backward, you can compute the gradient of y with respect to a. So this is a very useful concept which will be used in other tutorials as well. So so thanks for attending this video, and in the upcoming videos we will talk about more concepts in PyTorch. So please subscribe to my channel if you like these kind of videos, and thanks for watching this. Thank you.